All right. We're doing an oval this week. Pretty much. I'm still probably going to work on my setup a little bit more than what I have it right now. But I think I've got it down enough to do a track guide. So it's all right turns except for the S's and one left turn. And it's really just about carrying as much speed as you can everywhere. And hoping that a Nissan doesn't kill you. So coming around to start a lap here. Here I'm going to be braking after the lights, but before the 300 just by a bit into second. Take a little bit of this curb. I'm going to get up into fourth, half a lift, back on the throttle, stay as right as I can, and then a tiny bit of a lift, back on the throttle. Really have to use all the track. Right, then left, then right, and then left. Finally up into fifth. Right before the bump here, I'm going to lift, touch the brakes, then release the brakes, get back on the brakes after the bump. If you brake too hard over the bump, you'll lock your tires. So it's a little tricky to get that right. Right before the 300 into third, I want to turn in more than I did right there. And then right before the end of the tires on the left, braking. See if I can get a good lap here. Not great up through the S's. Could have carried a little bit more speed. So yeah, I'm going to touch the brake and then get off it and then back onto the brakes over the bump. That's a decent lap. But basically everywhere you just want to be on throttle as early as possible. During the race, it's going to be a draft locked for the most part, I imagine. So you just want to get good exits out of all the corners and curves to stay directly attached to whoever's in front of you. But yeah, so just real quick here, going between the light and the 300 is where I'm looking to brake. Getting into second. It's a lot more stable being on this lower part of the curb. I honestly don't know. The higher part might be faster if you do it right, but I'm not consistent with it. So I tend to just stay on this lower part of the curb. Coming all the way out here, using as much as you can without getting off track. Then a lift, get all the way to the right. Here, I'm kind of looking for the end of the curbing is when I want to start turning back left. So you see I'm turning right, and then right before the end of the curbing, my wheel's back straight, and now I'm turning left. I could have maybe turned in left a little bit earlier. I didn't quite use all the track there. And then that probably slowed me down a little bit. I got too far back to the right. Touched the grass a little bit. And this is the trickiest part, for me at least. Because you have that bump. I exaggerated it on the second lap to try to hopefully get my point across. You want to touch the brakes, get on the brakes a little bit, and then you hit the bump and you want to come off the brakes. Maybe not all the way off the brakes, but less brake pressure, because your rear end kind of wants to lift off the ground. You have less pressure on your rear tires on the ground, so you can't brake as hard without them locking up. Then back onto the brakes, gradually more pressure as you land. Getting to this inside curb, I kind of turn in as I hit the bump. I'm turning towards the curb, so I'm already pointed at the curb as I hit that bump. So I can hit the curb, come off of it a little bit, and then I'm looking for just kind of this spotter stand, whatever it is, as my reference of when I'm trying to get back onto the throttle. And then you can use all of this. At least with my set right now, it's not, or it's slower if you use all of this on the left, like all the way out. On my fastest lap, I'm probably a little bit further out because I got on the throttle earlier. Then up here, it's looking for the 300. I braked a little later than I wanted to on this lap, so I'm trying to brake kind of maybe at this white line, closer to the white line than the 300. Getting left. And then here I'm looking for the end of these tires is my reference here. Braking just that, maybe a little before. Getting all the way to the curb and on throttle as early as possible for the front straight. Yeah, that's all I got. It's oval week.